stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part one of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Aggedor, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. I hope, indeed I pray, that we shall not be found unworthy of our victory if after toil and tribulation it is granted to us. For the rest, we have to gain the victory. That is our task. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its commonwealths last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
We shall not fail or falter. We shall not weaken or tire. Neither the sudden shock of battle nor the long-drawn trials of vigilance and exertion will wear us down. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
You have tried to change my country. You've tried to change my life. No one ever asked me if I thought that this was right. It's time for us to tell you that we will go through hell to defend our country and to help the EDL. I'm proud to be an Englishman and I'm going to be free. I won't forget the men who died to get that right to me, and we will stand up against you and defend England every day. There's no doubt we love this land. God save England and the UK. Lied to all the people and tried to take away their rights, but we won't let you sell this land, not without a fight. It's time for us to tell you that you can go to hell. It's time for us to stand and fight and join the EDL. I'm proud to be an Englishman and I'm going to be free. I won't forget the men who died to get that right to me, and we will stand up against you and defend England every day. There's no doubt we love this land. God save England and the UK.
We certainly do love this land. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the English Defence League radio show, broadcasting live on blogtalkradio.com. The English Defence League radio show, the truth and the voice of the EDL. Tonight's banner for the show is English Defence League radio show, Death Threats Against Tommy Robinson, Please Do Nothing. And I go on to say, welcome to the English Defence League radio show with your host, Jeff Spider Mitchell, and my wingman for this evening is Dave Agador Milner. Tonight we'll be talking about EDL-related issues and other world headlines with a special focus on YouTube death threats against Mr. Tommy Robinson and his family. The fascist Sharia-compliant enforcers are doing nothing, not a damn thing, against these online criminals who would already be in prison if their threats were against Muslims. It's obvious that equal treatment under the law does not fit their master's narrative. We have a message for you, cowards and quislings out there. The time for your tyrannical dictatorship is almost over. We the people will hold every single one of you accountable sooner than you think. No surrender ever. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing. And that was by the late great Edmund Burke. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. President John F. Kennedy. And without further ado, let me pass it to my wingman, my panelist, Mr. Dave Agador Milner. Good evening, good afternoon, Dave. I hope you are well today, my dear friend.
Good evening to you, Jeff. Good evening to everybody in the UK. Good afternoon to everybody in the States. Hello to everybody around the world. And, of course, off Earth. That's right. We've got a big show, Jeff, and listeners, we definitely have a big show. If you're one of these people that doesn't like to hear about Tommy Robinson, as they say in Futurama, you're boned, because today we are going to be having quite a few.
Sorry,
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have, the first thing we're going to start out with is the Ezra Levant interview that he had with Tommy Robinson. That's going to be in 3 parts. We're going to play, and then we've got some other things that you're going to actually get to hear some of these threats against Tommy Robinson and his family, and we're going to comment on that. And then my God, we're going to talk about Brexit. We're going to talk about all sorts of other things. Jeff, before we get into that, though, I'd like to bring something up that BZ of BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon brought up to his audience. All right. Now, as you guys know, 9/11 has just passed, and a lot of people did anniversary and commemorative shows about that. Jeff and I did one, and we did it with Kenneth McClinton, and I think it was a really, really good show, which you guys are going to get to hear on the 3rd of October here on at the regular time, Thursday, the 3rd of October at the regular show time here on the English Defence League radio show. You'll get to hear the whole thing. But another guy that did one, in fact, this was the flagship show, on the flagship show of SHR Media, with whom I am associated, was BZ himself, and at least one other member, one other of the network owners of SHR Media, and there were call-ins, and we had a few people call in, including myself, telling their 9/11 stories and things of that nature. And as is the case, the show was put up on the SHR Media Facebook page. All right. And in the process of checking through, not too long ago, BZ noticed that Facebook had taken down that 9/11 show because they said that the indication was that it was offensive somehow or whatever, but they took it down. Now, as I recall, this was not a show filled with invective against Muslims or anything of that nature, but there was some truth-telling being done. And I've posted the show up myself, a link to the show, in my accounts at, of course, Gab, MeWe, Minds, Spreely, Mumblet. And guys, you can go there, and Dave Milner or Agador on any one of those, and you can share it through there, or go directly to Spreaker.com and look for Sackheads Against Tyranny for 9/11/19, and you can share the show from there. You can get the link there, and please share the show out. Give it a listen and share it out. It's a good show, and neither Jeff nor I are amused at Facebook just censoring this commemorative program, which I thought was very good. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised, really. You say what happened there at the BZ, them taking it down. Well, we did basically, we did very similar to probably what BZ did, but they didn't take us down. So I do not understand that, and myself, you, and Ken, we didn't hold back with our thoughts about what's going on. We really didn't, did we? Let's be honest, Dave. It seems strange that our friend BZ has his flagship radio show commemorating 9/11. It's probably no different to what myself, you, and Ken did when we did the show. I just don't understand the logic behind Facebook any more than I can imagine visiting Saturn one day. I just don't understand their logic. Is it just a shutdown to silence people that's speaking out? But they should have done that with us as well, shouldn't they, Dave?
Well, I think Jeff, what it is.
We did no different.
Yeah, I think what it is, Jeff, I think, is that they really are scared now of the new mainstream media. And as I said, Sackheads Against Tyranny is the flagship program for SHR Media. And you see this same behavior with all of the attacks on Sunday Long Live Radio. I was there on Sunday, and I witnessed some of that. And why? Because Sunday Long Live Radio is spanking CNN's behind them, MSNBC, NPR, all of these people. They're threatened by the voices of truth, and they want to shut them down in any way they can. And if they can't use things like Facebook to take them down, then they'll use things like attacks on the programs when they're trying to go on the net and run. They'll use those attacks. So yeah, Jeff, that's where I think it comes from, brother.
Yeah, I don't think you're far wrong there, Dave. You don't put nothing past them because they are flailing. They do know that there's some new media out there, and it's there. As I've said before many times, they're the dinosaurs. They're the dinosaurs of lies and deception, and people don't hear their crap no more. And that's what we say. We're bringing the truth. We are the truth tellers. And whether they like it or not, the truth will get out there. And with what Rehoboam's doing, with the Sunday Long Live Radio show, with what we do, whatever, we're moving. We could be moving targets. We can go from different platforms, even though they could deplatform us maybe from Facebook. You know what? There's still plenty of options out there, and we've only got to look. Look, and you will find. Look, and you will see. Message, our message of freedom, all that we stand for, will live on. Their lies and deception is fading into the footnotes of history, and it's going to go down with a big hard bang, like Brexit, EU, etc. Sorry, Dave, and I say something. I stepped all over you, brother. Sorry.
No, well, you weren't quite finished with what you were talking about, and I apologize for that. But what I was going to say, now this isn't a current figure, but I found it very interesting. I found a story about how CNN's ratings are tanking, and it came from April of this year. And at that point, they were down below 190,000 viewers. And mind you, they have had for decades now contracts with airports, some government buildings, hotel chains, and things like that. So you can count a lot of those quote unquote viewers just from people in those hotel chains who don't have anything else to watch or things of that nature. But less than 200,000 in a market share in the United States of America is tiny. I mean, the Home and Garden channel does better, man. And as you've said a few times, Sunday Long Live Radio, World Broadcasting, okay, has been beating them recently, and they're scared.
Stomping them is
and
the word, Dave. Stomping them, brother.
Yeah, they're scared, and they don't know any other way to act. But anyway, this guys, go to Spreaker.com and look for Sackheads Against Tyranny for 9/11. 19, and please share that one out. Give it a listen and share it out. And, just to poke a finger in the eye of Facebook, because their eye is one that needs a finger poked in. Now, Jeff, brother, if you would like, I have the first of the 3-part series that I created, done by Ezra Levant, excellent interviewer, with Tommy Robinson. And what do you think? Should we start out the show with this?
I think that'd be brilliant, mate. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on, old chap. Carry on, Dave.
Oh, very well, old bean.
Awesome, brother.
Let's go.
No problems, old chap.
I'll handle this at all, yes. Let me just deal with this here. All right, people. You are listening.
Listen to his accent, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to Dave's accent. Go on, do it again, Dave.
Oh, well, it's very fun. I learned this listening to the House of Lords, don't you know?
Oh, mate, by Joe, I didn't know that, old chap. My goodness me. Was you the chap who sat in the back with the large brandy? I know it was you. I know about the beard, sir.
A very large brandy, Jeff. A very large brandy. But until that...
Well, carry on, old chap, with what you... I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Now and again, me and Dave will go on a light-hearted pick-off, and that's what we do now and again. So there you go. Dave, over to you. Back to you, Dave.
All right. As I refill my brandy snifter, it's getting a little low, obviously. Please check out this interview of Mr. Tommy Robinson with Ezra Levant, a really wonderful chappie. And you're listening to the English Defense League. And you're listening to the English Defense League radio show. Here is part 1.
Tally ho, old chap.
It's just over 13 minutes long. Tally ho.
Well, we picked him up at prison. We got him a haircut. He had a hot meal, and now Tommy Robinson sits down with me. What a pleasure to see you outside of prison and free again.
It's good to be seen.
This time was a lot different than your incarceration in HMP only. I would describe that as torture, physical and psychological. How was it this time?
So I was in Belmarsh, obviously, and the governor of Belmarsh made a complete effort to make sure that my rights were recognised. I was in for a civil offence. It's not a criminal offence. As a civil prisoner, you're entitled to more money. So my big thing...
As in to spend more of your own money?
Spend more money. £47.50 a week I could spend, which meant I could buy as much tinned food as I wanted. And really, basically, and fruit and things like that. In Onley last year, £10 a week I had. So I could buy 6 tins of tuna. That's it.
And you couldn't eat the prison cafeteria food because, of course, it was made by the prison Muslim gangs. How was it in Belmarsh? Did you feel comfortable eating their prepared food?
So from when I went into Belmarsh prison and come out of Belmarsh prison without seeing a prisoner. The only prisoner I saw on 2 separate occasions was Julian Assange.
Now that's amazing to a lot of people because I don't know enough about Julian Assange to come to a firm conclusion, but some people call him a political prisoner. He's certainly not a violent man. You are definitely a political prisoner. For the two of you to wind up in the same prison, the same unit, that's quite something. Maybe it was inevitable. I don't know.
So he's in healthcare, which so basically where I was it's a prison within the prison. So essentially, no one goes to this section bit. So you've got a corridor. You've got a corridor along here, and there's no windows in the corridor. So there's a corridor. There's a door at this end and a door at this end. And on this strip, there'll be 4 rooms: a prison officer's room where the staff will sit, two members of staff. Then an empty cell, and then my cell, and then the next cell, which is another empty cell with a exercise bike in it. And at the end you'll have, then at the end is a shower. So, and then so for me to have it, so the idea is that you're contained on here, no one sees you, no one knows you're there.
They call it a suite, don't they?
They call it a
suite.
For anyone who stayed in a suite in a hotel, it's not a suite yet. It's basically 3 cells. But, so at 9 in the morning, so they'd come, and my door would be opened at 9 in the morning, 8:45. And then when my door's open, then the officers then sit in their room, and then I have till 11:15 to shower, use the bike. So you're on your own, but I'll go on the bike for an hour. The bike was a godsend. The first day I saw the bike, I was like, because they said you've got your own gym. Because I said I want to go to the gym. You've got your own gym. When I was coming in reception, I saw the bike. I thought, that's my gym.
Is that all it is? A bike with weights also?
It was actually good. No. And then so then I'd do an hour on the bike. I'd pace up and down to cool down a bit before I had a shower, and then I'd have a shower, and then I'd go on an exercise yard, which is a contained exercise. So the exercise yard backs onto where my window is, and it's like you see from the visit room, it's 4-story high. But there's all windows looking on this exercise yard, so it's a courtyard. But there's no cells that look onto it. There's no cells around here. This part of the prison. This is all offices. But then at the top, there's 4 cells from healthcare. So if you've had an operation, if you're in a hospital wing, there's 4 windows that looked onto this courtyard. Junior scientist was the second window in.
So you could holler up to him, and he could holler down to you.
Yeah. So 2 days. Where were we now? 2-3 days ago. Spend 30 minutes when I could see him then, because again he's not having a good time.
He's been in former detention for many years.
Yeah, and as he says, the isolation's getting to him, or got to him.
I don't want to pry into any confidences, although I don't think I'd call it a confidence. Obviously every word he said to you and vice versa was tracked by the prison and probably various intelligence agencies. I don't think there's a private word spoken in those contingency suites. I know when I visited you, there was a camera in the ceiling.
There's cameras everywhere.
Are you at liberty to discuss what you talked about with him?
Yeah, I wouldn't be aware. That's why I wouldn't be aware if he didn't want me to. So through a mutual friend that was.
You know what? No problem. I just was curious, but the fact that you spoke with him was interesting.
I wouldn't want to put him. But I spoke to him about a mutual friend we spoke about this morning. Right. So anything. I said if I can.
No problem. I was just curious because I know our viewers will be tantalized. Now, when I visited you on one of those occasions, I heard some moaning or some shouting. Obviously not from Assange. There's another prisoner. Was there a murderer in the wing as well?
So on healthcare as well. So there's a prisoner who. So in the first week, I was speaking to him because I couldn't see him, so I haven't seen him. But you can shout out the window and you can speak to the person. There's 4 windows there, and there's one lad there who I was feeling sorry for him the first week. He's having a terrible sentence. He's 10 years in. But then
10 years in isolation?
No, he's not in isolation. So he's in help. Yeah, for his door to open, there has to be 4 security wearing full riot gear every time.
Oh my God, he must be a monster.
Well,
or maybe not. Maybe not. They could say that about you.
No, he is. So the crime he told me he's in there for, I checked out because I didn't want to be talking. I want to know what he's in there for. He told me he's in there for murdering his mate. He's not in there for murdering his mate. He's in there for murder and rape of a 16-year-old girl, throwing her over the fence. So he's having a bad 10 years. And when I found out, well, it's good that he's having such a bad sentence, and I'm glad. I hope he has another 15 years of hell in there. But that's the only. And so when anyone who's been in prison, it's the hustle and bustle of being in prison. It's the noises of being in prison, the environment of being in prison. But this wasn't like being in a prison because, as I said, the only person I saw briefly, which was once. So And again, when I got in there, I expected the same as last time. 23.5-hour bang up, them to block, and they blocked, like last time, the only time they'd get me out was at lunchtime for my shower, and that's when I could use the phone. And my wife at the time was working actually in the school, she's not now, but she was working in the school, and my kids were at school, so I couldn't speak to my family. And they purposely done everything, so I expected the same. But and I was probably quite rude the first day. I remember when the governor come down to see me, I just said shut the door, because I expected the same. But then I knew quite quickly it wasn't the same. I mean, essentially, that governor is in a position where I've landed in his prison, which is why I haven't got a bad word to say about Belmarsh. I'm annoyed and angered and frustrated at what they've been allowed to do again by putting me at the Old Bailey. They know that sends me to Belmarsh. Belmarsh houses the worst terrorists and the worst.
It's like Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, it's the worst offenders. The worst offenders in the UK are sent to Belmarsh. Salman Abedi's brothers, I believe, in there now. The man who attacked the police officer, the British order, he come in there so it's terrorists and murderers.
And you.
And a civil offender. So Ross Kemp, that's because Ross Kemp's doing a documentary.
He's a British journalist.
Yeah, he's doing it, and that's why he come down after a couple of days. And I don't put it. I think he come down after a couple of days saying, "How do you feel?" And you're not a threat here, and he's right. And there was at no time in that sentence, after the first couple of days, did I feel in danger.
No.
Which is very different to my last sentence. So, and as I said, the governor, once I'm in his jail, he's got a duty of care to keep me safe. So he's fulfilling his duty of care to keep me safe. But the argument, what I was saying to Ross Kemp is, in the last 12 months, I'm a journalist. I work as a journalist, whether the media like it or not, whether Geoffrey Cox or the British government or any of them like it. I've become the most watched journalist in the UK. They don't like that. Now, they don't like the stories I tell. Now, if the judges sum it up, let's pretend for a second that I did commit contempt of court, which I didn't. Let's pretend I did. Then in the judges summing up when she sent to me, because I had a way out there, which I read to Ross Kemp. I said, listen to what she said. My offence was unintentional. So she's not saying I intended to break the law. So what she's saying is, I committed an accident, an error, whilst working. Yeah? And for that error, that had no effect at all on the trial, they see this as a fit punishment. I've done, in the last 12 months, I've spent 2.5 months, 3 months nearly, on solitary confinement in awful conditions in H&P only, with them messing with everything they couldn't mess with. This sentence was very different in the sense that the staff were great when I saw them. You know what I mean? I only see them for this talk 2 hours when my cell opens, and then because of this unit that I'm on, I believe the unit was built for Ian Huntley.
Who was here?
Ian Huntley murdered 2 young children, 2 young girls, raped and killed them. So Ian Huntley's on it. There was another, Abu Hamza, I believe, has been on it. Michael Bellagio has been on it. So it's an isolation unit. But there's 2 or 3 cells. So sometimes when they've got some people on, they might have a few of them on there. But essentially when I was on this, it's just me on there. And so I said, I'm on this isolation unit for a civil offence, for me, that's what I said, where I'm feeling sorry for myself, I said, this is just bullshit. For the whole world to see, and it sends out I think, a terrible image of this country, that a journalist can get locked up, and it's not just locked up, it's not like, prison's prison, and I've been to prison multiple times, as people know, and I've had, in 2014, even when I was violently battered, I still had an alright sentence. I was on the wing, I was working, so people understand what your prison system is. Even the terrorists. So the terrorists in Belmarsh, H&P Belmarsh, on the terrorist wing, they get out of their cell at 8 in the morning, they then get locked up at 12. They then get out at 2, and they're locked up at 6. They're out all day. They can work, they can have education, they can play pool, they can play snooker. The prisoners have football pitches, you have all these things that keep you occupied and keep you busy, so essentially your day it's like you're at work, and then you're locked up at night, basically. So that's why I said I'm a civil offender. I'm the least offence in this whole entire prison, but I'm locked up the most out of anyone in this prison. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm not having to go again because I was stressed out. I'm not saying anything about bail marshal because there's nothing else that governor could have done.
Right. That prison governor was sent to you. So what could he do but do what he did?
Well, I asked when I got in there to be located in I didn't ask for isolation again.
Right.
So I didn't go in and say I need protection, you need to isolate me. They didn't even ask a question this time. It was straight, boom, you're going down here.
Well,
but they said, so I said, why can't I be sent to a decap prison, which is what my
casual prison, like a low risk.
Yeah, where you go home at weekends, you don't get locked up. It's for low. In fact, my offence is a decap offence. Mm-hmm. So I said, how can I walk out of maximum security jail for contempt of court in a maximum security?
Did you ever get an answer to that?
No. And then it's like, so I said, and then even the location. So if they'd have moved me to Exeter prison, I'd have been fine. Because they moved me in a prison with low Muslim population, I'd be fine.
And there you go, people. And that is it for this time. Next time, part 2. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcast
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.